Hey there, Chris McCarthy here with Brand Identified, and today I'm going to walk you through an AI business integration plan to define your brand's voice and develop your brand tone. You can use this 6-step framework to craft a consistent, recognizable brand voice that builds trust, clarity, and an emotional connection. So this is what we'll cover today. First off, we're going to go over that 6-step AI-powered framework. Then we're going to define and answer the 10 questions that you need to answer to build out your AI strategy. Then I'm going to show you how to accelerate your strategy with BrandOptimizer.AI, which is a custom GPT. And then I'm going to show you a 6-step prompt sequence to customize your framework and your strategy, also using that BrandOptimizer.AI custom GPT. And then finally, I'm going to show you how to install Brand Growth AIOS into your business. So let's go ahead and get started. So step number 1 of this AI-powered framework is to define. Start by answering these 10 voice development questions. These responses give you the raw materials to build a distinctive brand voice that sounds like you across every single platform. So question number 1 here is, how would you describe your brand's personality in just 3 words? Start by distilling your brand into core traits. Whether it's bold, approachable, expert, or creative, these words become the foundation of your brand's voice. Question number 2 is, what tone or style do you typically use when speaking to your audience? Are you casual? Are you professional? Are you direct? Or are you playful? Knowing your current style helps us see if it aligns with your brand's personality. Question number 3 is, do different parts of your brand, whether it's your website, your social media platforms, or your emails, sound consistent, or do they vary? Inconsistency will dilute its impact. So we want to identify if your voice is unified or if it shifts depending on the channel. Question number 4, what brands do you admire for their voice or their tone? What about it stands out to you? Examples help us define what you're aiming for and the emotional connection that you want to create within your audience. Question number 5 is, what do you want people to feel when they read or hear something about your brand? Emotional reaction is everything in your brand voice. Whether it's trust, excitement, clarity, or inspiration, this guides the tone and the language that you will use. Question number 6, have you ever received feedback about your messaging being unclear, confusing, or inconsistent? This feedback reveals where your current voice is breaking down and where clarity is most needed. Question number 7, do you have any current brand voice guidelines or messaging documentation? If you have these, we'll assess how detailed and usable they are. If you don't have these, we'll plan to create a system that supports consistency. Question number 8 is, where does your brand communication feel most natural or authentic right now? Knowing where your brand voice shines helps us leverage your strengths and create replicatable templates. Question number 9, where does it feel hardest to write or communicate clearly as a brand? This highlights the channels or the situations where your messaging struggles, so you can target these weak spots. And then finally, question number 10 is, if your brand voice felt instantly recognizable and consistent, what would that change in your business? From increased trust to faster growth, this clarifies why investing in voice development matters. So step number 2 of this framework is to clarify. So translate your personality, your tone, and your emotional intent into a defined brand voice. This step is about defining what your brand sounds like, not just what you do. It brings together personality, style, emotion, and behavior into a voice that feels like one cohesive identity across every message. So you want to use your 3-word core personality traits as the foundation. You want to define your primary tone, whether that's bold, warm, confident, or casual, and you want to clarify what emotions you want to evoke when your audience hears from you. Now, with all of these steps within this framework, I've given you an AI prompt that you can use, but this is specifically a BrandOptimizer.AI prompt, and this is a custom GPT that I've developed from the knowledge base over at Brand Identified from working with hundreds of clients over the past 25 years. So this specific prompt is, we are a, and put your business type in there, that serves and put in your target audience, and then based on the following answers to our brand voice development questions, help us define our brand personality, tone, and our emotional intent. So you're going to take those 10 questions and you're going to take the answers for those 10 questions and add them in addition to this prompt. But I also want to make sure that you're not just dumping this over into ChatGPT or another generic LLM language model. So you want to go over to BrandOptimizer.AI. Now from here, you can just go ahead and click on Launch the Custom GPT, and this is going to open up ChatGPT, but it's going to open it up into the BrandOptimizer.AI interface. This is the only custom GPT that has access to the brand identified knowledge base. So you're going to make sure that you want to use this one because it's going to then give you the results that you need for your specific business as you prompt in that prompt that I gave you and then all the additional prompts that I'm going to give you throughout this framework. So just head over to BrandOptimizer.AI, enter in your prompt in there, and then use it just like typically you would use ChatGPT. So moving on here into the next step of this framework, this is step number 3, and this is structure. So build your official brand voice guide. Now that your voice is defined, it needs to be structured into a guide that your team and your external partners can actually use. This document becomes the reference point for writing anything about your brand's voice. So you want to include a 1-paragraph summary of your voice and your tone. You want to break down your 3 personality traits with examples of what they sound like. Make sure you add do and don't phrasing rules, tone by channel notes, and messaging examples, and create a sample sentence for different platforms. For example, your social media channels, your emails, your webs, and video content. Now, as always, I've provided you with a BrandOptimizer.AI prompt for step number 3 as well that you can add over into BrandOptimizer.AI. So step number 4 is to embed. Incorporate your brand voice into internal systems and content processes. Your voice only matters if it is consistently applied. This step focuses on turning your guide into something used across your team in writing, reviewing, and creating your content every day. So add that guide to onboarding, content checklists, and internal brand documentation. Train your team or freelancers on tone, usage, and application, and build content creation templates like social media captions, email intros, and video scripts that reflect your brand voice. And then as always, I provided you with a BrandOptimizer.AI prompt for step number 4. Step number 5 is to show. Let your audience experience your voice everywhere that you show up. Now that you've built it and trained on it, it's time to infuse your voice into every brand consumer touchpoint. From ad copy to video intros, your tone should be distinct, consistent, and aligned with your brand's personality. So audit your website, your social posts, your email flows, and ads for tone consistency. Rewrite any key messaging to reflect your defined voice and your tone, and create brand stories, video intros, and bios using your core traits and your new emotional style. And then we have another Brand Optimizer prompt right down there for you for step number 5. And then finally, step number 6 is to review. Check it regularly to make sure that your voice is still being applied and it is still relevant. As your brand evolves, your voice may shift slightly or your execution may drift from your original tone. This step keeps your messaging sharp, intentional, and consistent over time. So do a quarterly review of key messaging channels to check for consistency. Survey your team or content creators to see where voice feels strongest or possibly weakest, and update your guide with new examples or refinements if tone, audience, or platforms shift. And then we have a final BrandOptimizer.AI prompt for you to use for step number 6. So now we're moving into a 6-step prompt sequence that you can use over at BrandOptimizer.AI to instantly create your custom strategy for your business and your brand. So this is a 6-step prompt sequence. The first is a strategy prompt, and that is help me build a complete strategy for brand voice and tone development that aligns with our brand and our business goals. Prompt number 2 is your execution prompt. This is give me a step-by-step execution plan to implement brand voice and tone development effectively in our business. Prompt number 3 is an audit and an optimization prompt. That is, audit our current brand voice and tone development and recommend improvements or optimizations that we should make. Prompt number 4 is a template or a tool prompt, and this is provide a fill-in-the-blank template or a framework that I can use to create or improve our brand voice and our tone development. Prompt number 5 is a role-based prompt. So this is how should A, and then you're going to want to put in your title, your role, or a position within your organization. So for example, founder, CMO, or marketing manager, approach brand voice and tone development in a growing business. And then finally, the 6th prompt in this 6-step prompt sequence that you can use over at BrandOptimizer.AI is your integration prompt. And that is, how does brand voice and tone development connect with or support other areas of our business like marketing, sales, or operations? So finally here we just have the Brand Growth AIOS system, and this is an AI-powered operating system to optimize your business. It is a 16-phase optimization and execution strategy that integrates 60 specialized services into one unified growth engine. It is designed to transform your business into a high-performance, fully optimized and scalable operation. Each service is delivered in a structured, sequence-based framework that starts with deep diagnostics, applies proven strategic models, and then executes with AI-enabled tools and automations. Now, I've prepared a short video overview of the Brand Growth AIOS system that I'll queue up here in a second, but also make sure you visit BrandOptimizer.AI to learn more, and then also head over to BrandGrowthAIOS.com as well. The Brand Growth AIOS is a complete operating system for your business. It's a proprietary 16-phase optimization and execution strategy that pulls together 60 specialized services into one unified growth engine. The entire system is designed to take your business from where it is today and transform it into a high-performance, fully optimized, and scalable operation. Now, here's the important part. This isn't just a collection of services thrown together. Every step is structured, it's sequence-based, and it follows a very specific framework. We begin with deep diagnostics, then move into proven strategy models, and then bring it all to life with AI-enabled tools and automations. Once the Brand Growth AIOS is installed inside your business, here's what you can expect. Your company will run on a streamlined, data-driven, AI-supported infrastructure. You will deliver a consistent, high-quality client experience that drives both retention and referrals. Your offers, pricing, and positioning will be optimized for your market. You'll have predictable opportunities coming in through campaigns, funnels, and content systems that are built to work together. And you, as the founder, along with your leadership team, will finally be able to focus on strategy instead of being stuck in daily execution. So let's talk about what that means for your role versus ours. Your role requires only a minimal time investment, about 15 minutes per day for quick approvals and roughly 30 minutes a week for high-level strategic reviews. That is it. Our role is to handle everything else: the audit, the strategy, the design, the build out, the optimization, and the execution of your complete Brand Growth AIOS. That way, you can stay focused on leading your business while we install the system that allows it to scale.